Hi friends, uh, this is Muthu Kumar, basically a postgraduate engineer, worked as a placement officer for more than a decade. Currently I am working on a mission to enable livelihood of 10 lakh unemployed youth by providing skill development and career guidance to live their fulfilled life. So in this line, I have started one YouTube channel name Career Group. So in the Career Group portal channel, I will be start uploading lot of videos, small clippings which will be useful for you, starting from resume writing to interview facing, beyond interview, what is expected out of you, all those things I will be sharing with you through this channel. So please stay connected, please subscribe. If you like these videos, click like, comment, share. Thank you so much. Okay, we can start with resume writing. So resume is one of the important thing when you go for interview or when you apply for a particular job. Even you create your first impression, your resume is seen by a recruiter or a HR personnel or technical panelist, whoever it may be, and it's going to create the actual first impression for you. So how to craft this resume for better success, I'm going to tell you that in this video. Please stay tuned. So in this video, we will be covering these following topics. So 3W 1H of resume, that is why, what, when and how. So that we will discuss. After that, what are all the contents to be covered in a resume, we will be discussing that. And then how to format the resume, common errors we commit and how to overcome that, and tips for writing great resume, and do's and don'ts in resume writing. All these topics will be covered. Generally, people used to start, what is a resume? I'm totally opposite. I'm starting with why resume. We should know the purpose for what we are going to use this resume, in what way it is going to help us. If we know that, we will be in a position to write a better resume. That is why I am starting from why resume. As I told earlier, it helps you to create your first impression. So create a better first impression. Why I am saying, even before starting the interview, even before calling you for the interview or discussion, the recruiter is going through your resume. So in what way you are presented, your skills, capabilities, your thought process. So based on that, he is going to create an image about you. Okay, this person is capable of doing this, that. So he may be suitable for this particular opening. Like that, he is going to identify, or he is going to create a image of you in his brain. So once that brain image started created in his mind, it is more easy to convert him. It is more easy to get job from that company. And also this resume will help him to find the reason. So the recruiter can explain on what basis you are hired. So he can list out, see these are all the skills, these are all the capabilities he is having. So this is our requirement. So he is the first fit, like that he can justify his selection also. So you have to create a better resume. And please note, you never get second chance to create your first impression. So resume gets your chance to get into the interview. Your delivery in interview gets your job. So please be careful. This resume is going to get a chance to get into interview, and your delivery in interview gets you the job. So keep this in mind and craft your resume properly. Now let us see what is the resume. Most of us are thinking resume means it is a summary of academics. So how much I scored in 10th, how much I scored in 12th, or diploma or degree. So like that we fill that with full of academic informations. Actually it is not. Actually resume is the true description of your personality, strength, skill set, capabilities, maybe I can say your core competencies, accomplishments and achievements, and it is also represents your sense of quality. So when you write resume, you have to stick to certain things. Anyway, we are going to cover that in future slides, so it will be useful for you. Hope you understand what is a resume and all those things. And also you have to keep one thing in your mind: you are responsible for every word in your resume, right? If you say I know blockchain technology, you should be in a position to tell what is blockchain and how it is used, what are all the framework behind that technology, application area, like A to Z. About that you should be in a position to explain. And during interview you are expected to exhibit the same. If you miss to do so, then you are faking the company or you are faking the interviewer. That's how it will be viewed. So resume is all about you and your skills, and you are responsible for each and every word in your resume, right? Now we will see when required. Generally resume will be required in 4 occasions. Maybe employer may ask you to submit the resume. You might be applied through Naukri or some other job portal. Based on that, the recruiter might call you and he may ask you to submit your resume. Or you might come across some advertisement stating that apply for the post of so and so, like senior software engineer or system analyst or junior engineer, software development or something like that. So when you come across this kind of advertisement, naturally you have to apply for it. Sometimes something like a cold calling, you can identify your prospective companies. Okay, being a diploma person, what kind of job I will get. Being an electrical engineer, where I can get job. Being a computer science engineer, where I will get job. Like that we can identify prospective employers, and we can start sending resume without even asking that. And finally, during your course of time itself, you may attend campus recruitments, or sometimes you might be called for walk-in interviews. In all these cases, you need resume to get into the interview. So your resume is something like a ticket, entry ticket. So it is going to get you your pass to attend interview. Please keep that in mind. And you have to note one more thing. Except in the last case, a recruiter may spend only 2 or 3 minutes to shortlist a candidates for interview. So how your resume should be? Here I would like to say one thing. Maybe most of us are studying or studied in a semester pattern. A semester is on an average 3 months. So you are studying a subject for 3 months, and you will be writing exam for 3 hours. And your examination paper, answer paper, will be evaluated for 3 to 30 minutes time. So you all know how to present well in an exam paper. So you have scored well. But you should know how to score well in the resume also. Okay, let us see how your resume should be. See, your resume supposed to be tailor-made. You are not supposed to use the same resume for all the job, all the companies. And it should be targeted on a specific job. So you have to do some sort of research, right? So say for example, you are going to apply for a particular company. So you have to go through their website. What is the latest things happening in the company? So what kind of technologies they are tying up? What kind of technology they are going to pursue in their future? There might be some news article, there might be some press release or some interview CEO or MD of that company might have mentioned. So you have to note all those things. And based on that, you might be having some relevant skills. You have to highlight that and you have to project that in your resume so that you get a chance to get shortlisted quickly, right? They are working on Java technologies and you have done some Java certification program, then you have to mention that and you have to highlight that specifically. Suppose they are working for Oracle DBA kind of post and you have done some Oracle DBA certification, then you without missing it you have to mention that, right? So that kind of activity research will help you to get shortlisted, and your resume should be informative, concise, positive and honest information should be available. And the content provided in the resume should be accurate, and there should not be any spelling mistake or grammatical mistakes. Please double check that. And in terms of presentation of the resume, it should be clearly laid out, right? The spacing between lines, spacing between words, margins, left margin, right margin, top, bottom margins, right? All those things supposed to be aligned properly, and it should be arranged line by line in a proper manner. Also, some sort of logical order is also expected, right? Maybe in a chronological order you can put up things, and also it should be easy to read. It should not be cramped, and the look and feel of the resume is very important. So as I told you earlier, do a research about company before you craft the resume. Research means it is not spending too much of time like 1 week, 10 days about the company. Quickly go through various news articles about the particular company, interviews given by top management of the company, go to their website, see the latest happenings in the company, right? You correlate all those things. Based on that you bring out your relevant experience, skills, information in the resume so that it will get easy pass for you to enter into the interview. Is it make sense? Yes, super. Now we are going to see the contents should be in a resume, right? Objective and personal statement, right? It is something like I wanted to become so and so, I have this that like that. Anyway, I'll be covering in future separate videos. Maybe I will roll out on how to write objective, how to write personal statement, all those things. Here holistically I will cover the content and other thing, right? Personal details, your educational qualification, technical qualifications and certifications, skill sets, and then core competency, achievements, references if any, like that we can cover. And my humble request, please don't copy paste from your friend's resume, or simply don't download a resume from website and start editing from that. Starting from your name till the signature part, you supposed to craft your resume on your own. See, all those website based contents, friends idea, fantasy words, jargons, all those things, please don't do copy paste. As I told you earlier, you are going to be responsible for each and every word in that resume, right? So what is in you, what is suitable for you, you describe you and your skills in a proper way. That is what is expected out of you, right? Covering all these points, right? Hope you are able to follow. Super. Now, you have prepared all these contents like objective is ready, personal strength is ready, educational details are ready, all those things are available. You are keeping it in a data are available. Now, you have put everything in a Word file or some other format, and it should be formatted properly, right? You have to use appropriate font and size. Maybe you can use Times New Roman, or you can use Arial, you can use Verdana, or you can use anything. Like, it should be legible, readable, presentable font, and correspondingly appropriate size you have to use. Avoid too small font size or avoid too big size also. For example, in Times New Roman 8-9 font size, it won't be legible, right? In the same time, if you go to Arial, Verdana, then font size 12-14, it will look like your resume will look like a poster. They are not asking you to design a poster. They are asking you to come out with a proper resume, right? So suitable to font, you have to select appropriate font size also. And another important thing, you have to differentiate heading and the body. For example, educational qualification, that is going to be a heading. Below that, your 10th score, 12th score, where you studied, board of studies, how much you got, percentage, any remarks like I got district first, state first, or school first, something like that. You will be having something to mention, right? So that body and heading should be in different font size, right? And there are two school of thoughts with respect to highlighting the important things. Some people may say you should not highlight anything in a resume. The flow should go in a same pattern. Some other person from different school may say you have to highlight important things, keywords, something like that. Maybe I am in line with that thought process. If you feel it looks odd, then it is not necessary. You can have uniform flow of text, not a problem, right? Then there should be equal and proper margin. So left and right you should have equal margin, and the same way top and bottom you should have equal margin. And proper line spacing between lines, you have to give proper line spacing. And especially when you send this resume in a hard copy format, each page should be printed in a separate sheet of paper. And also use header footer kind of thing. Maybe you can mention a resume of so and so, and page number 1 of 3, page number 2 of 3, something like that. Even if they miss something, they will be in a position to identify, okay, 1 page is missing, 2 pages missing, something like that. So you follow those techniques. And very importantly, grammar and spell check you have to taken care. So nowadays, companies or employers or HRs are expecting you to send resume through mail, or they will ask you to apply through online application submission process. If that is being the case, you please use appropriate ATS format. ATS is nothing but applicant tracking system. So there will be automated software to track you. So from your resume, it will fetch all the data like your name, your contact detail, basic qualifications, skill sets you have. So it will read the resume. Based on that, it will create a sort of database. So recruiters will not go through your entire resume. So based on the database available, they will shortlist the candidate for suitable opening. And also, while formatting, don't use different font for different segment. For example, educational qualification, one set of font, and in technical certification and qualification, another set of font, and in projects and other thing, paper presentation sort of informations, different font. Don't do like that. So from top to bottom, you're supposed to use the same font. Maybe you can differentiate the heading and body message with two different sizes. And wherever is required, you can highlight bold. You can bold certain keywords in your resume. That will be more than sufficient. And also you are expected to use action verbs. What is that action verb? Like planned, achieved, developed, like that many action words are available. Maybe if you are doing a project, I have done so and so project at so and so company, I prepared this report and I got some result, something like that. You are putting up in a paragraph format, it won't be attractive. So if you use action words and put it in a simple bullet point method, it will be more attractive. At the same time, don't try to use all these action words at once. It will mess up. Okay. For example, usage of action verb is given here. Right? Devised and prepared a survey of patients' attitude to healthcare services for elderly people as my final year project. This is one point. Second, he is doing some action, right? He interviewed 70 elderly patients. Through that, he obtained substantial amount of data. Now, what he is doing with the data? He created a database to analyze and interpret the material. Finally, he completed this project within 3 weeks, 3 weeks ahead of the schedule, and achieved a good grade also. Like this, you have to use action words. And common errors what we will make in the resume. Generally, typos and grammatical errors is going to create a worst impression about you. You please be careful about that. And lack of specifics. When you apply for a particular job, so what is expected out of you, right? So that should be highlighted in your resume properly. And don't attempt one small size of font to fit everything in one page. In most of the cases, we used to highlight our duties and responsibilities instead of what we have achieved or what we have accomplished. And writing a resume without action verbs, right? Visually too busy resumes will not attract. Your resume is supposed to be a visual treat for the recruiter. I mean to say different font, different size, full text top to bottom, like filled with paragraph kind of arrangement. No, it won't attract. So you have to avoid that. And some important thing you might have interested to highlight, or it may fetch you the interview. That sort of information should be highlighted, and we may miss some of the cases. Say for example, they are asking you to apply for a post, full stack developer. Then you have worked in some project as a full stack developer. Then you have to mention that in your resume. If you fail to mention it, you are going to be the loser, right? So don't leave off any important information. and incorrect contact informations, right? Normally we prepare all these resume, everything out of short span of time, and we may miss one digit in your mobile number, we may miss a dot in your mail ID, or we may add we may miss a small a or I sort of thing in your spelling, email ID spelling. Instead of yahoo.com, we may put by mistake yahoo.co.in, something like that. So you have to be very careful about all these informations. Once the resume is ready, you have to double check all these things, whether this resume is suitable for this particular job, like that. You please check. That is most important. Finally, the tips for writing great resume. As I told earlier, write resume with a target in mind and be appropriate to the particular job. Don't forget to highlight your strengths. Also, keep it short and sweet. Make it simple and powerful. Don't use too much of jargons, this, that, fantasy language and all. That is not at all required. Use simple language. It will attract more people. Ensure the correctness of data provided in the resume. Check typos and grammatical errors. Make first impression all the time. That is most important. You never get second chance to create your first impression. For example, you are applying in a company, he is going through your resume, he finds you are not fit, he will put it in a different box. Suppose after some time, same company is asking for some other job role, you are applying once again, he won't read your entire resume fully. He will see your name, photograph, something, oh, this is the person, okay, he is not fit, like that. He will simply throw your resume in the basket. So make your first impression all the time. That is most important. And most importantly, you should keep one thing in your mind. Employers are looking for certain parameters. What you can do for them? Can you improve their operations? Can you keep their customers happy? Do you have answer for all these questions in your resume? Then your resume is a great resume. No doubt about it. Is it make sense? Good. Finally, do's and don'ts. It is very simple part. Maybe what are all the things we have to do is explained in detail. Now, I am telling you few things, important things. Don't state your expectations out of the job. Rather than tell that what you can contribute. So if you are hired, in what way you can support the organization to implement the process, to develop the code, something like that, what you can contribute. In that aspect, you prepare your resume. And you have to be very careful when mentioning the dates, duration of the course, all those things. Right? If there is some gap, then employer will get suspicious about the gap. You have to give proper reason, explanations. You should have proper explanations for that. Right? Do not be wordy while listing responsibilities. Use bullets and in a consistent style. Okay. Finally, you put up your photograph, maybe in a scanned photograph or some professional look, creating professional look photograph. Yeah, it is important. And furnish responses if asked to do so. Maybe like your team leader or your project manager or your colleague, some reference you have to give. And again, I am telling you, please use simple and plain language. Avoid professional jargons. Why are you waiting? Write a great resume. Kickstart your wonderful career. All the best, friends. Take care. Stay in touch. If you like this video, please click like, comment, share, subscribe the channel, spread message across your friends. Thank you so much.